This is the Fifth Estate Winning Headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we take a look at some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. We also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 2nd of February 2022, and I am AX.
I am Tuam.
And I am JM. In case you missed the headlines this morning, here they are. In the Daily Nation, KQ and IEBC win big in 130 billion shilling budget. In the Standard, how electioneer billions were shared. In the Star, Musalia Raila in bitter war over Uhuru support. And in the People Daily, change looms as CS is set to resign. Kick us off to him.
Now, 2 days ago, we told you that Kalonzo Musyoka will make Baba president. Today, Kalonzo told us, without telling us, that he will back Baba. As we have told you this week, should Kalonzo back Raila, Baba will win the August election, round 1. You can go to Equity Bank and ask for a loan without guarantee. All Baba requires is just 900,000 Kikuyus and he will be home and dry. Question is, does RUTO think Uhuru doesn't have the power to marshal 900,000 Kikuyus for Baba? In fact, we want to tell RUTO, out of the 5.8 million Kikuyus registered, he can have 4.7 million of them, and he still will not be president. But again, this should be the least of Ruto's worries. His worry should be ICC. We want to tell him that ICC is coming for him thick and fast. Last week, none other than ICC's deputy prosecutor, James Stewart, told us that there's evidence that William Ruto spent millions corrupting witnesses in order to scuttle his ICC case. But that's not all. Stewart told us that Kisheru admitted himself that William Ruto knew a murdered ICC witness known as Meshach Yebei.
Wow.
In fact, Stewart said that William Ruto, Charles Kisheru, and Meshach Yebei were part of a group known as a common plan, a group suspected of being responsible for witness tampering in the Ruto Sang case. The question Ruto should be asking himself is what next? We will tell him what exactly is next. If Charles Kisheru has admitted that Ruto, Yebei, and himself knew each other, he has snitched. Kisheru might as well have done a plea bargain. And if he has, Ruto is on the frying pan.
My goodness.
He is finito. What's my point here? If Kisheru has snitched on Ruto, then any moment from now, ICC will be issuing an arrest warrant for William Ruto. This will in effect make Ruto an international fugitive. In fact, Ruto, Jean-Pierre Bemba, Omar El-Bashir, Charles Taylor, and Joseph Kony will be in the same WhatsApp group. And with the label of international fugitive, there is no court worth its salt that would clear him to run for office, even Maraga's own court. Therefore, Bona Chief Hustler, please do not focus on Raila. Raila will win with or without you. You should focus on how you will get yourself out of the ICC fix.
My goodness, my goodness. AX.
Yes, of course. So recently, the judiciary gave the green light for IEBC to implement a law that makes it mandatory for public officers to leave office by the 9th of February. Now, all civil servants, from ministers to teachers, have 7 days from today to make a choice: resign and risk it all, or stay and play it safe. And because we do not know how many people at all levels of government will resign, we cannot adequately prepare for what will follow. Therefore, in the spirit of not knowingness, today I would like to engage in some light speculation, and I will be guided by the Rumsfeld submission. This is a Fort Hall School of Government tool of analysis, a classic, and it is inspired by former U.S. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, who served under President George W. Bush Jr. According to Donald Rumsfeld, there are things that we know. These are known knowns. Then there are things that we know that we don't know. These are the known unknowns. Finally, there are things that we don't know that we don't know. These are the unknown unknowns. I will use this submission not to influence or make predictions, but simply to outline the lay of the land. We will begin with the known knowns, the things we know that we know.
Correct.
We know that any civil servant who intends on vying for office must resign by 9th February 2022. If CS's Matiang'i, Mutahi Kagwe, or Yatani want to vie, then their resignation letter should be drafted by now. But in this succession election, there are some things that we know that we do not know, some known unknowns.
Right.
And this is where it gets complicated. We do not know how many seats will be abandoned in the civil service. We also do not know how the president will fill any of these abandoned posts in the cabinet. Will he combine ministries, or will he appoint new cabinet secretaries and ministers? Finally, I will examine the unknown unknowns, the things we don't know that we don't know, and the things we can't foresee.
Correct.
And all right now, and all the unknown unknowns revolve around the possibility of a protracted election. We know that there will be a runoff. And if we are trapped in a vicious cycle of elections and petitions, what happens to country? Remember that come August 9th, the president loses the power to hire and fire under Article 138 of the Constitution. And all of this is before we factor in our rogue judiciary and the activism they reserve for the executive.
Yeah.
Once we factor that in, everything becomes an unknown unknown. And in that uncertainty, the stability of the republic may very well fracture.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now, today I would like to play devil's advocate.
Okay.
What if the Azimio team is using an old map to new lands?
Right.
Yesterday's winning headline of The Nation read, "Big names on Azimio train." But is there a possibility that what we need for this election are not heavyweights, but lightweights?
Correct.
And the reason I ask this question is because over the weekend, whenever I asked young people in Muranga, Azimio or UDA, almost 2/3 of the youth would tell me UDA.
Yes.
And when I asked them why, they gave reasons as frivolous as UDA is fresher, their colors are more appealing, their lineup is younger.
Right.
Sioaze. Surprisingly, they even cheered at RUTO's archaic first century wheelbarrow,
Yeah.
as opposed to Ryla's 19th century Tinga.
Yes.
What this tells us about the psyche of the voter is this: the more irrational you are as a candidate, the more appealing you're likely to be to the electorate. Let me explain.
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Yes.
Spain was undergoing a serious economic recession.
Yeah.
Unemployment was up, inflation was up, shops and businesses were closing. To comfort themselves, the inhabitants of a small Spanish town called Borja
Yes.
would frequent their local Catholic church.
Yes.
The church was known as the Sanctuary of Mercy.
Yes.
Okay.
One elderly lady by the name Donna Jimenez would attend prayers every day without fail.
Right.
When Donna came in, she would pray first, then meditate while gazing at a painting of Jesus Christ mounted on the wall of the church.
Yeah.
The painting, which dated back to the year 1930, was painted by Elias Martinez.
Yes.
And it depicted Jesus in a crown of thorns.
Okay.
There was nothing extraordinary about it. It was just her cherished routine, and she loved it. But over the years, the dampness of the air had made the paint peel off the painting.
Correct.
So it lost its original touch.
Yes.
And the church, because of a recession, could not afford repairs. Nobody was giving tithe.
Yes.
So this 85-year-old Shosho, Donna Jimenez, decided to take some initiative.
Okay.
She began retouching the painting.
Yes.
She started slowly with the parts where the paint had peeled off.
Yeah.
But she enjoyed it so much that she got carried away and eventually ended up retouching the entire painting.
Yes.
The only thing was, she was completely unschooled.
Oh.
So here we're looking at horrors of unskilled labor. The retouching was a complete disaster.
Oh my God.
The Jesus painting became a laughingstock.
Yes.
It was now dubbed Potato Jesus
Yes.
and became a worldwide sensation overnight.
Yes.
The church was grossly embarrassed. But then a strange thing happened.
Yes.
Tourists began coming to this little town of Borja to see the funny retouched painting.
Oh my
And
goodness.
you'll see it on your screens.
Yeah.
Instead of considering ways to repair the damage to the painting, the church actually began to charge visitors €1 to see it and to have a selfie taken with it, Potato Jesus.
Okay.
They even began merchandising Potato
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
To date, over 500,000 visitors
Yes.
have paid to see the botched restoration by the 85-year-old Shosho.
Yes.
What's the lesson here?
Yes.
It's not always right to be right. In the upcoming election, Azimio and the One Kenya Alliance, they're the more bankable candidates. They
Yes.
may be right,
Yes.
but they are dull and they are invisible.
Yes.
Like the painting before it became Potato Jesus.
Yes.
It was a great painting,
Yes.
but it was dull and invisible.
Yes.
It didn't have any perfections.
Yes.
UDA, on the other hand, they are dead wrong
Yes.
with all their bottom-up ideology.
Yes.
We know it, even they know it, and that
Yes.
is why they still cannot define what the bottom-up ideology is. But they are fresher and more entertaining.
Yes.
In sum, what I'm going to say here really is Baba needs to get his sexy back.
Yes.
Rather than front-load heavyweights like those ones we saw
Yes.
being put on the nation yesterday and political has-beens,
Yes.
he should front-load the Sifunas,
Yes.
the Babu Owinos, the Simba Aratis, you know, and these younger faces, this younger leadership, and the Jubilee Party also needs to do the same.
Yeah.
Or they might not be as well put together and well rounded, but they're more entertaining, they're funny, they're charming. And if we don't do that, then you know there's a chance that events will overtake this has-been coalition.
Absolutely. Jane, there's another lesson to your story.
Uh-huh.
If a 95-year-old Shosho
Oh,
can
no.
save a county, is it a city in Spain?
Yes.
A town.
Then Raila Odinga, being 77, can save this country
That's
from
right.
the horrors of unskilled labor.
Of unskilled labor. What a nice rendition. We have a 3-part criteria that we use to judge the headlines: topical or speculative, repetitive or groundbreaking, and thoughtful, or just plain lazy. I'm not feeling particularly inspired there. A bit pessimistic here.
I think we just throw them.
Yeah, I think we tossed them all.
Yeah.
Not particularly exciting, and so we move on to the cartoons. Humorous or dry, satirical or pessimistic, and effective or just plain lazy.
Yes.
Kick us off, 2M.
With the standard.
The
Gado.
standard, yeah.
Gado is a caricature of Musalia Mudavadi with a battery pack behind his back. And his batteries are getting replaced. UDF out, NASA batteries out, ANC Amani out, and there's a new one called UDA. And I think that is RUTO's hand that's about to fix it. And the caption there's that little guy down there. It's
Yeah.
like, well, lots of hope this one works. And Gado is right. I think Musalia Mudavadi is actually a political egg without salt. He no charisma.
Yeah.
His political spine is very wavy. One moment he's there, one moment he's here. You really never know what you get with him. I really wonder why Ruto went for him.
We should have heard
For a
Sifuna
month.
describing him the other day. I tell you, it was really zero chills.
Yeah.
AX, take us to the star.
All right, the star. This might be my favorite cartoon ever. We see 3 men on a bed. The sheets are obviously yellow and green, and we see a very heavy-set William Ruto between Mudavadi and Mutango. They look like they've just been up to some entanglements. And on the TV, we have the words. We have somebody saying, "Just friends."
Yeah.
And Mudavadi turns to look at Ruto and asks, "So what are we?"
That someone is actually Johnston Mudama.
Oh my
Yeah,
word!
yeah,
So.
just friends.
This cartoon reminds me so much of what it feels like to date in the 21st century sometimes, but more importantly, it reminds me of The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene.
Yes.
Specifically, it seems that Ruto has been doing some light reading, and he
Yes.
seems to be taking the lesson that perhaps you should be sending mixed signals. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
I just wonder
Yeah.
where Kikuyus would be in that bed.
Oh, I just saw the tissue paper.
By the way, conspicuously
Just saw the tissue
missing.
paper.
Conspicuously missing.
Hey.
Oh my word.
In the Daily Nation, let's put that in the parking bay. It's really tickled us. We have here a caricature of citizens running towards the chopper,
Yeah.
and they're presumably going to receive handouts from politicians.
Yeah.
And on the left, you've got an IEBC official who is dozing at the voter registration desk. And what this cartoon is showing is obviously the razzmatazz is what's more exciting.
That's,
And, you know, people love a show, so.
yeah.
But they're forgetting to turn out to register. But the MPs need to do some mobilization here
Absolutely.
on a serious level.
Yeah.
Not
we throw
particularly
that.
exciting. We toss it.
Yes, sir.
I don't know, between the Standard and the Star.
I'll take the star.
The star.
Star, okay, yeah, that really made us laugh.
Yeah.
So the Star gives us our winning cartoon. We have no winning headline today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are also on your TV screens on Pang, GoTV, and Star Times as well. You can catch me on TikTok at Mainawa Kagema. How about you, AX?
Oh, I don't have a Twitter, so pass.
Catch me on Twitter at Kmaina and TikTok Kandabongo.
Wonderful. Have a great evening.